Most people don't know what their emotions are really trying to tell them. Stress, anxiety, frustration, depression, anger, guilt, boredom, sadness, and loneliness. They're all signals. They're telling you what needs attention. Being that these emotions aren't problems and actually all emotions are good for you, these signals are telling you what needs to be addressed in the present moment. In this video, I'll break down the emotional patterns chart and I'll explain how every single emotion has a solution-based response. But most of us never get there. Trying to control too many things all at once, trying to do it all too well, is what stress is. Stress is the trigger that throws anxiety out of balance. Humans can only focus on one thing at a time. Anything other than that is a pure myth. Multitasking does not exist. When we try to control too many things all at once, usually we drop the ball on one of those 5 things. When we drop the ball on one of them, then we start fearing the future because we don't feel in control of the present. The not feeling in control of the present is anxiety. Frustration is usually the feeling that follows after anxiety and fear, and that feeling means that what I'm doing in the present moment is not working, which can usually transfer to anger and guilt or transfer to depression. Anger means more that it's an injustice that's happening to you, whereas guilt, the twin sister of anger, is that the injustice is actually coming from yourself towards others. So stress is usually handled by being able to focus on one thing at a time rather than many. Anxiety, you take control of the things you can and let go of the things you cannot control. Frustration is handled that you do something else if what you're doing isn't working. Whereas the anger, you can focus to do a reality check to see if it's true that something really is truly unfair. If it is unfair, that you make it fair is the second step. And the third step then is to forgive. This is easier said than done, but forgiveness relieves you from the past. It's a change that happens from inside of you that makes you free from the past. In other words, the forgiveness is for you. Guilt is handled the same way as anger, only that your forgiveness is going to be towards yourself. Sadness, the feeling that I've lost something or someone important to me, you replace. You can't replace people, but you can replace what you had with that person, people, places, or things that you lost. Loneliness is the feeling that I'm not connecting to others, that I'm not connecting to people that care about the same things I do. Then the satisfying response is to make a commitment to actually explore being your genuine self to yourself first, not trying to impress others by being fake. And when you do this, people that are fake or people that are toxic will leave your side, but people that are drawn to your energy will match your frequency and will come closer to you. Usually these are the type of people that will relate to the same things that you care about. Boredom is a lack of something interesting, fun, or a growth experience. So in order to satisfy this feeling, something interesting or fun comes and goes really, really quickly, whereas a growth experience stays for the long term. What I've seen is that career experiences, objectives, life goals, and spirituality, being able to grow spiritually, is something that pushes you forward. Because when it comes to spirituality and faith, not religions, faith, you can always grow stronger at becoming much more of a better meditator or a person that prays in a devoted way, and harnessing your connection with the present moment, with your 5 senses, what you see, what you touch, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel. Most people don't choose these satisfying responses to address their feelings. Instead, they use distractions. Distractions can be a habit, a coping skill, or a compulsivity. A habit is an automatic thought, whereas a coping skill is a deviation from the unwanted behavior. And compulsivity is when you're no longer in control. It is now in control of you. Usually, signs of compulsivity, of extreme compulsivity, are getting compulsive towards drugs, getting compulsive towards entertainment, compulsivity towards gambling, let's say. Those are just some examples, but people can also get compulsive towards thoughts, emotions, or behavior. Either way, any of these distractions don't solve the cause of the issue and they don't last long. Think about it. Every time a human tries to use a distraction from a certain emotion, thought, or behavior, then they self-sabotage by then wanting more of that destructive destruction more, because the emotion becomes stronger, trying to alert you that it needs your attention. If any of these solution-based responses don't seem to work, then it is time to take things to the next level. One of the most powerful evidence-based practices that I've ever seen that works so quick, so fast, is regression therapy. Going back to earlier times where you felt that dysregulated emotion. You don't have to go through all of the events, just some of them. There's many therapies that do this, but with cognitive hypnotherapy, it just goes way quicker to get results. So with regression therapy, you regress back to earlier times that you felt that way until we find what's called the initial synthesizing event. Powerful, because it is in that moment, in that memory, that usually the worldview towards that cognition and emotion begin. When we resolve that, then we move over to progression. And progression is detaching from the said emotion. Most of these emotions also bring us a secondary gain. An example of this is a person that's angry is usually going to set boundaries or say no when they're angry, but it looks like outside of the anger they can't, or they won't rather. And then an anxiety or stress brings a person that sense of urgency to get things done. And usually a person that procrastinates will get things done when they're stressed or anxious. That's just to give you an example. If you feel that this video resonated with you, please comment, like, and subscribe. I also left you links to the emotional patterns chart so that you can explore it and see it for yourself. Also the sacrificial and compensational behavioral goals, the diaphragmatic breathing video, and extra resources so that you can regulate your emotions and take back control. Thank you very much for watching.